Okay, so good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Mary Esther Miranda Gilbert. I'm the nutritional physiologist behind the True Health Mastery Institute. And with me tonight are Yvette Smith and Yael Edwards. Welcome, welcome. And so tonight I'd like to talk a little bit about, since the information that's circulating out there to the public right now is all about the the uh, the toxins that are in the environment and in our foods and making everyone sick. And I thought, wow, it's a coincidence that I actually, wanted to talk about this to my members. So I'm going to share my screen right now, and then you can see what I've got for you here. Okay, so this is the True Health Master Institute of Holistic Personal Health Management, and this is the website where people can come to check it out and see what the Institute is all about and what it has to offer. Health transformations is a regular thing with me. I've seen the health transformations with the nutritional healing protocols that I've researched and produced for clients over the years, and all of the material that I've shared with the public is actually, I feel, is having an impact and changing people's lives. It's turning people into their own holistic personal health management experts. And they come away knowing more than a lot of doctors do, or other holistic health practitioners who want to offer their clients or patients information about nutrition, but it's never enough. It's never as full as it should be in order to make true health changes. So this is all about what this institute is about is for people to learn how to protect their health and what choices to make and bypass all of the propaganda and all the misinformation out there on the internet or well-intentioned friends and relatives or other practitioners who think they know, but yet the results of their clients or patients isn't showing those results that they want to have, right? So this is the place where you come to learn and to become your own nutritional health expert. It takes time. That's why I'm here. I've been doing this for over 4 decades. And so I have a proven record of health transformation successes over the years. And those who learn my system go out and they're like satellites. They go out and they help others get healthy too. And it's really amazing, something amazing to watch. So anyhow, this is the page. You can just go ahead and if you want to go visit it at holisticchoices.com, click on the True Health Mastery Institute link and it brings you to this page and you'll read a little bit about what you get as a member and what you learn and how it can change your life, how it can save your life. It's very transformational. Once people understand what's going on inside of their bodies, then they're more likely to stick to this nutrient density program that actually the body recognizes these nutrients and transforms because it'll utilize them to repair and regenerate and balance the whole biochemistry of the human body. People have always said, wow, she really knows how to heal everything from A through Z. Well, it's the human body that does it. All I did was put people on the right nourishment tract, right? And so, and to watch those health transformations, it's never ceased to amaze me how amazing the human body really is once you give it the right stuff, right down to the microcell level, right? Okay. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you the introductory page to the True Health Mastery. And if you would like to join, you just click the button here and you join. If you're already a member, you just log in. But yeah, it's really easy to join. You can go ahead and it'll take you right to the two things that I'm offering right now. One of them is the Nutritional Synergy course, and that's just a course based on my book, Nutritional Synergy, my whole nutritional system. I call it my nutritional healing system. But if you want to join, and as a member, every single month, you get the $12.97 deducted out of your account automatically, so you don't have to think about it. You can cancel anytime. But the valuable or invaluable information you'll learn is just the result of over 40 years, 4 decades of information that I have learned and passed on to my clients. Now I'd like to pass it on to my members. And so this way, I think we'll be making our population healthy and transform people in body, mind, and spirit, because once these cells are vibrating at the higher frequencies of good health, then that transforms the personality, that transforms people's perspectives. It gives them a sense of wellness and courage. It's very elevating and uplifting. That's a phenomenon that I actually witnessed in my clients and still continue to do so, all the time. So that is a little bit about the True Health Mastery Institute, and just come here and just read all about it and decide for yourself, all the perks and benefits. Yeah, okay. So if you have any questions about it, you can always fill out this form. Just put your name and email address on it and send me your question. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have about being a member. Once you're a member, then I do very special things for my members if the need arises. And I think Yvette, she's nodding her head. I think she understands that. And so many other people that Yvette knows can vouch for that too. So I'm always giving out a lot of good information to people, but I have a special place in my heart for people who are very, very dedicated to improving their health by joining the True Health Mastery Institute. Okay, I'm not a salesperson, but I cannot withhold this information from people. So I just have to talk about it, and I have to share what I've learned with everyone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Now, let's go on to what I have to show you. If you did not receive the invitation, they usually come in the form, in email form, and I always post it on the social media. So far, I've only posted it on Facebook, but this will be appearing, every Thursday night to invite people to come to the Friday Night Live that we're on right now. So this is the recent one that I just put out yesterday, and it's about the silent killer ingredients in all of our packaged and many fresh foods. Now, the only foods that do not have these killer ingredients happen to be organic foods. If you do not see the stamp of organic on your food labels, then I would not trust it. Because if you learn how to look at the ingredients, which is what we'll go over briefly tonight, you'll see that there are so many toxic ingredients in foods that have already proven, and I've done that research many times over the years, on what these extra ingredients do in processed packaged foods to the human body, how detrimental they are. And if you haven't seen the news items that are out there, especially with RFK Jr. and his new appointment as a Health and Human Services Secretary, wanting to get this information exposed to the public so that they can stop putting these poisons in their bodies and cease having all of these horrible health problems. Okay, so, as I said here, which ingredients in your foods are stealing your health? That's what we're going to learn tonight, and how they're linked to immune disorders, like poor memory, poor concentration, overwhelming moods and emotions, not being able to handle stress, obesity, cancer, diabetes, all sorts of different aches and pains and inflammatory responses in the body, digestive system malfunctions, and so many more. A through Z, you name the ailment, and I'll trace it back to nutrient deficiencies that are chronic over time, and the toxins that are in the body, disrupting and interfering with how the body is supposed to work. So let's learn why food labels don't have health hazard warnings. They should, but they do not. And this is what the new, HHS secretary is working on right now, to expose all of this information and force companies to either put the warning labels on so people are aware of what's in these so-called foods, or just change the whole formulations. They're really not necessary. Having bought organic foods for so many years, organic foods will last pretty long, especially the fresh produce. And being from a nutritional background, of course, I can show people how to make their fresh foods last longer in the refrigerator. But those that have been sprayed with pesticides and genetically altered with all kinds of strange genetic codes from insects and inserted into their DNA these toxic chemicals, just to allegedly protect the plant from insect invaders that whose job in nature is to eat up and destroy a sick plant. So, farmers have constantly sprayed their crops and they can't figure out why they keep having to add more and more, do more and more spraying, and intensify their toxic formulas. Well, people are eating this stuff. It doesn't wash off so readily, and it gets in the plant. It's systemic in the plant. Okay, so this is why I need people to get off of these poisonous foods and encourage the organic food industry. People say, well, I can't afford organic food, it's too expensive. A few dollars in your grocery bill is going to save your life. And those organic foods are so much more nutrient dense that you won't feel as hungry and you won't be, nutrient deficient. So you'll actually save money because people are overeating. They can't seem to satisfy those cravings. They don't know why they feel hungry, even though they're full, and all kinds of cascade effects that end up being turning into all these different health issues. So let's get off of that crazy, wheel that is keeping people stuck and keeping people sick. You have to be careful of the kind of research you do on the internet. I always teach people, whatever your search term is, at the end of your search term, in that search box, type in science journal. That way, it bypasses all of the misinformation out there. And you want to look at peer-reviewed studies or those scientific research reports that have used the legitimate scientific studies in their report. So you'll see little footnotes, throughout the whole report. And you can look at those footnotes individually and go off on all these wonderful adventures and look at what other scientists have done to come to their conclusions. So the scientific world is pretty much one of the three pillars that we need to verify if something is going to be safe for you to put in your body. Those legitimate scientific studies, and also of course, the results. We can't ignore those results. There's literally millions of people out there who have had health benefits, from very high quality supplements and organically grown foods, all of these wonderful things that are so good for your body. So that cannot be ignored. We have to look at that seriously and not say it's their imagination or it was just a fluke or it's just a chance. That's something their medical doctors have said. I've seen that. My clients have come back to me and say, well, my doctor's scratching his head. He doesn't know why I got well, even though I handed him the 2-inch stack of papers you gave me to send to him or give to him or her, So that's the second pillar. The third pillar is the thousands of years of indigenous healers who have carefully documented the causes and effects and observed the results of the people that they were treating. Okay, so all these different indigenous healers from all over the world, they know this. They know a lot more about the human body and its energy, flow and energetic frequencies, light energy frequencies that they call either chi, or prana, depending on which country, you're in. So science has already verified that these very real energies that surround the human body, that surround all living things, really are affected by what you put into your body. If a person is ill or full of toxins, then their bodies are going to vibrate at much lower frequencies. And it's been shown that their cells, light, we all have light. We are light energy beings. Their light in their cells is somewhat diminished, sometimes dramatically diminished, depending on, the extent of their health problems. But so those are the three things that I feel need to come together in order to ensure that you are going to get the results that sometimes people are desperately searching for. When I had my practice in California for 30 years before I retired it and didn't retire, I just did other things like teaching like this. But when I had my practice, my clients would come in and their health transformations were amazing. And so they changed their lives. They found the courage to do a lot of things they didn't know they could do. They attracted more positive things into their lives. That's just the visible energy fields and energy frequencies that life vibrancy has in store for you if you're not in good health right now. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you the invitation because I really like this picture. I borrowed this picture, and so this is the warning label that should be on foods that are causing people to get sick, right? That are diminishing their health. It's like a big red warning sign. This food product contains ingredients and or chemicals that may cause cancer, obesity, heart disease, diabetes, respiratory problems, thyroid problems, and other diet-related diseases. The list does go on and on and on. All right, so very quickly, I wanted to make sure we have time for other discussion. I like interaction, coming from people who are here. So let me go ahead and go to a different one here. Well, this is one of the things that the public has been aware of, but they really don't know what they are exactly sometimes, unless people are like me and just go into and do their own research. But the Non-GMO Project has pretty good information about what a GMO is. So if a person if the food companies these corporations are going to insert genetically modified organisms into the DNA of the plants, then people need to know what they do to the body. So they go through, and this is pretty much for the layperson, what's a GMO, and it just says it's a genetically modified organism to which biotechnology has been applied. This creates combinations of plant, animal, bacteria, and virus genes that do not occur in nature or through traditional crossbreeding methods. So yeah, it's not like they're hybrids. Hybrids are just taking two healthy plants and to have them interact to form another form of, either one or both, a combination of both. So that's, plant scientists have been doing that safely for generations upon generations, and it doesn't have any effect on our health. But GMOs have been determined that they are not safe, that they do cause genetically modified, they do genetically modify your own DNA. So they're messing with your genetic code of how your body is supposed to function. And the kinds of biotechnology that is applied in these plants, one of which is it says here, the most common genetically modified crops grown worldwide have been engineered for herbicide tolerance. In the first 20 years of the GMO experiment, the use of toxic herbicides such as Roundup, also called glyphosate, increased 15-fold. So the use of these herbicides has led to a decline in native plants, which has downstream effect on biodiversity. Additionally, the overuse of herbicides has led to the emergence of pesticide-resistant superweeds and superbugs, which can only be killed by spraying more toxic chemicals. That's pretty much, reiterating what I said earlier. But these have been known to change the genetic code of the human body. Therefore, it affects all the different body systems and it manifests into various types of diseases and disorders. So once the genetic code in your body has been changed, then those cells are damaged. Your genetic code does not know how to function and therefore does not know how to direct all of the different types of systems in your body to maintain itself properly and regenerate your cells so that they're functioning properly or correctly. So that's one thing that you could find in about 99% of some of the crops that are used in ingredients in our processed foods. So things like soybeans and zucchini and potatoes, just normal everyday things that people buy at their grocery stores are not always are pretty high up there in the probability that they are genetically modified. So that's why the USDA organic distinction does not allow any kind of genetically modified or any kind of alterations in the gene codes of plants or any kind of pesticides and chemical fertilizers and that kind of thing to be put on their plants. So the FDA, that's going to be changing soon, but the FDA has always had this stand about not wanting the organic industry to flourish, to outperform or overtake the profits of the traditional, agricultural corporations that are using these toxins on these plants. And also, a lot of research has shown that the organic foods are higher in essential minerals and higher in what are called the phytochemical compounds, the lifeblood fluids that are in plants that are so compatible with our bodies. Alrighty, so I just wanted to give you a brief overview of trying to stay why you should not uh, eat foods other than organic. Alrighty, so here we go. Now, I wanted to show you a couple of scientific journal articles proving, that there's been years of research that have come to the conclusion that these glyphosate or toxic pesticides are very damaging. And this particular study gathered all the data out there on how it has affected the nervous system. So this is a review, which is the most credible kind of scientific research article that a person can read. So of course, they go through and they introduce to the public exactly what a glyphosate is. And I pretty much kind of covered that for you here. But I will provide these links for you in either through email or somewhere on the website of the True Health Mastery Institute. And if you're not a member yet, and you're interested in that, then I can certainly post it. I can post it either on Facebook or send it to you by email, however you'd like, since you're a guest here. Okay, so anyhow, I just wanted to show you the how the peer-reviewed panels, which are some of the most qualified scientists in the world, get together and they gather all of the legitimate, valid scientific research studies on a particular subject and put it all into one document. So the conclusion that they arrive here in these reports are what other scientists throughout the world have concluded as well. So this is great to see this all one document consolidation of all these different valid scientific studies. All right, so and as I showed you earlier, as I mentioned earlier, here's the group of scientists here and another group right here. You can click on these and go see what those scientists found, and they're just peppered all over this document. So you'll see how credible this really is. And so I love when these scientists show you some diagrams. Sometimes they're highly technical. It takes some time to get used to it. But, they show you how glyphosate works in the body and, the effects it has. So it says here that glyphosate inhibits the enzyme activity of this particular enzyme in the body in this particular pathway, preventing the synthesis of the aromatic amino acids tyrosine, phenylalanine, and tryptophan. These are essential amino acids our bodies cannot produce. And when the glyphosate disrupts or damages these amino acids that occur from your diet, our bodies can't make them. We need to get them from our diet. And it's best to have animal-derived foods because all the essential 8 or 9, depending on your age, essential amino acids in these animal-derived foods contain the amino acids that we need because we cannot, like I said, cannot manufacture them. So we need all of these amino acids to constantly rebuild our tissues and rebuild them correctly so that it doesn't form tumors and have all these inflammatory processes going on and causing rapid aging or ending up as some kind of system malfunction that leads to a disorder. So there's so many ways that the body, things in the body can go wrong, but all we have to do is nourish the body properly and your body will fix itself. All it needs are the right nutrients. That's all it needs. That's all I found over the years, for people who were ill from one manner of ailment to another. It didn't matter. The body knows how to fix everything. You've got to detoxify, hydrate, rest, manage stress. And of course, you can manage stress much better if you're highly nourished, and that's why I made up my own system, the nutritional synergy system, because all the other diets out there, even the government dietary guidelines, were so inadequate. they weren't fulfilling the body's need for the full range of all known essential nutrients. So picking foods from my nutritional synergy system ensures that you're getting all those nutrients. And I added supplements too. Supplements is a completely different matter, and we'll do another segment on supplements, but I also have a lot of videos on my YouTube channel that you're all welcome to just go explore and take a look. And as a member, though, there are even more videos inside the privacy of the Institute, where members can also get a very, very good education on all sorts of things having to do with their nutritional health. So once nutritional health is fulfilled and taken care of, you don't have to worry about your health. You have the energy to exercise, because everyone recommends that people have to have exercise. You can eat well all you want, but if you don't increase your circulation and work your muscles and help your body detoxify, and use the water that you take in, all the nutrients you take in to the fullest extent to make you the highest vibrational being that you have all the potential of being, then that's all you need to do, right? Alrighty, so I wanted to show you another thing here in this article. Of course, they're going to show you the methods that they use to arrive at their scientific conclusions about the glyphosate. Again, it gets technical, but it's really fun once you start reading it more and you start picking up the terminology, and then you look at something closely and you get so much more out of it, because then you start to learn how the body works at the microcell level, the subatomic level. It's fascinating. Our bodies are amazing. So then they always give the results, and in table form, it's nicer to be able to read and see what their results are. So yeah, so their results are positive association between this particular toxin exposure and visual memory impairment. Visual memory impairment. And here's another one. Neurological complications. And so, this particular protein that responded in this toxic environment was a predictor of neurological complications in this poisoned patients. And that's what the scientists who did this study right here, this group of scientists, they found that they just decided to name it glyphosate poisoned patients. Very conclusive. Here's a population-based control study. Control studies are very, very credible too. Prenatal and infant exposure increases the risk of autism spectrum disorder, and exposure during childhood appears to increase the risk of developing more severely impaired phenotypes with comorbid intellectual disability. So they're dumbing people down. Let's stop putting this poison in our bodies. Give your children, give your family healthier foods. Start with your own inner ecology, and your transformation will do much more good than you trying to convince anyone. Being the change in the world is the best form of example, inspiration, and even the vibrational energy that you're putting out to the world is going to have a positive effect on everyone around you. And I have observed that scientific fact over the years. So there's more studies. They're always talking about oh my gosh, this affected farmers' health because they're using this spray on their crops. Even if they're using, hazmat suits, they still get, particles in their system. They're exposed to it one way or another through the skin or inhaling it, So it just goes on and on. So yeah, I think this is a really great, scientific proof of why we need to get these chemicals out of the body and stop eating the foods that have been sprayed to death all over the place. When I was in college, I did a research paper on tomatoes, and how they sprayed not only the plants every day, but they sprayed the soil, and they constantly soaked the plants every day, so to keep these insects out. The insects are just trying to do their job. They see a sick plant, and that's their job to eat it. That's part of the nature of the natural cycle of the earth. But if you have healthy plants, the organic farmers know this. If you have healthy plants, you minimize, all of these horrible pests that eat up entire crops. So it's all about understanding the balance of nature. If any of you have ever had your own gardens, you learn so much, right, about the cycles and how plants grow and what they respond to, and what's in the soil. The soils are extremely important, and that's a whole nother subject too. See, I have so many subjects I want to share with everyone. But anyway, I just wanted to show you this particular one, and just one more I wanted to show you. So this is another very credible, study compilation of what other scientists have found. And they call this the dark side of beauty, an in-depth analysis of the health hazards and toxicological impact of synthetic cosmetics and personal care products. Women have used so many toxic products, and it has affected, of course, you see early menopause, you see all kinds of reproductive problems, hormonal problems, any kind of women's health issues. I have found over the years that they can be very easily remedied by taking all those toxins out and putting foods that naturally help the body detoxify, among other things that the body needs. But the whole food plants that are organically grown in nutrient-rich soils are the key to getting everyone well, getting a whole entire populations of the entire world, turn people into the healthiest version of themselves and discovering their higher human potential. All right, so that's what I want to show you. I think there's a couple of things in here that I wanted to have you see, and then we can go back to our conversation and any questions or anything like that. I love Q&As. This is what I called these Friday night live sessions initially, but it's turning into so much more, isn't it, Yvette? It's turning into some really fabulous opportunities to share with each other what we're all doing for this true health movement, I call it, to help get the earth into a place where there is no illness or disease. That's my goal. Dream big, right? But hey, we've got to start anywhere we can and spread the news as much as we can. All right, so back to this. I do go off on tangents, excuse me. Effects of chemicals, ingredients to human health. So, these, they go into a lot of descriptions, and they go into one of these toxins that, let's see what it says here. I didn't read this whole entire one yet. Yeah, so they're talking about what these so-called these substances found in all these different types of products might have on human health. So there's some real specifics, though. Here's some more: acrylates, the nail cosmetic industry, oxybenzone or benzophenone-3, and that's in most skincare products. A lot of times when you have skincare products that protect you against the UV rays of the sun, they actually do more damage to the skin than the sun would. A well-nourished person with short exposures to the sunlight will never get any kind of reaction or cancer of the skin or anything like that. If you're highly nourished, and these plant compounds and these wonderful protein foods from the animal kingdom are in your bodies, then you will not have to worry about any such thing. Cancer cannot live in a healthy system. It's just impossible. And if you're out there in the sunshine and you're, inhaling the fresh air, you're exercising, cancer cells cannot exist in such environments. And they will die because, they can't reproduce, and they don't have the simple junk food, the sugar, that people who don't know any better are eating. They're feeding their cancers by eating the white sugar and white flour and all these other severely processed and nutrient void foods. So it's the nutrients, and the plant phytochemical compounds that are so healing and cleansing and detoxifying and correcting that cancer cells just cannot survive. That's one of the toughest kinds of disease conditions that people suffer from. But the other conditions pale in consideration because they're much easier to battle and overcome. But with cancer, you've got to bombard the body with nutrient density and get the oxygen and sunlight and hydration and cut out all the toxins, all of the junk foods. Then your body has a real chance of recuperating. I've seen it with my own eyes, and people going back to their doctors, and their doctors just so perplexed, didn't know how that happened, but oh well, it's a fluke, and just write them off, right? Okay, so anyhow, here's some more heavy metals. That's a huge one. They're in our cosmetics, they're in our pharmaceuticals, they're in the textile industry. All these industries people who have been exposed to the heavy metals are usually end up with cancer, unless they're extremely healthy and health conscious, doing all the things that it should be doing to protect their health. Then their body can detoxify on a regular basis, or just not allow these toxic chemicals to be absorbed, in the body. So anyway, heavy metals in cosmetics. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's just horrifying. Lead poisoning affects pregnant women with elevated blood lead levels, causing untimely birth of babies. Research has revealed that apart from men and women, children are also easily affected by lead poisoning. Children can easily ingest and breathe lead contaminated products. And having kids drink out of the drinking fountains at school, I think that parents need to give their kids more bottled water and tell their kids, please don't drink out of that. You don't know the pollutants that have been, in the water sources and have been gathering for generations, really. Some places, I know I was going to move to a town in Arizona. It was up in the mountains, it was a beautiful little town, and they cautioned the residents not to swim in the lakes or drink from the lake water. I thought, I do not want to live in a toxic environment like that where they do not take care of their water sources. And it's actually a warning, out there telling people that, can you imagine, it gets really hot in Arizona, even in the mountains in the summertime, when you can't even go for a nice refreshing dip in a lake, there's something wrong with that. So hopefully now we will start cleaning up our environment, starting with our inner environment and not funding the corporations that don't care about your health, that continue to pollute everything, right? So we can just say no. You can vote with your dollars, and knowledge is power that way. And you can empower yourself by improving your health and staying away from all these toxins. That does not help their bottom line. They cannot sell their toxic products if no one is buying them. So then a lot of companies I've seen over the years have changed their formulations so that they can get a piece of the capital, profits that are possible for corporations to go out there and get people to buy their products, right? All right, here's some more, just coal tar, parabens and phthalates. It's listing them all. Hydroquinone, anytime you see something that has a zine in it, then stay away from it. All of these different suffixes and prefixes in products, then you'll get to know, you might not have all of them memorized, but you'll get to know, some of the ones that you should stay away from. Like all of these, anything with a Z in it, I found too, just don't, or butylated, that's another one. And toluene, those are another segments of words that you just don't want to that you just don't want to be a part of, uh, getting to know nutrients versus the chemical compounds, you can tell the difference. If you know your nutrients and you see something like this on a label and you don't recognize it, but it has some of these, parts in the words, then you need to stay away from them. The environmental working group as well is great about listing the toxic chemicals that have been shown to, cause human disease and disrupt the human body system. All right, here's a nice little list of preservatives. Okay, so you get the picture, right? Okay, now my question to you, oops, I shouldn't have done that. That's okay, I can get it back later. Okay, let's get back to here. Ah, there you are. All right, so what'd you think about this? Questions, comments?
This is
Yeah, Elle, you're muted. I thought you had I thought I saw you talking, but you're muted, so we can't hear you right now. Did you want to say something? Oh, there you go.
A lot of information.
It is. It's a lot of information. That's why, uh, you know, hanging around with me, you'll get to know this stuff, right, Yvette? I mean, how long have you been with APL Go?
it's 4 years. Yeah, actually
Okay.
September approaching 5 years. So yes,
So have you been watching all the videos and such that we've been putting out?
I have been present on the majority of your videos that you have been putting out, that you've been doing
Okay.
for us. And
Okay.
giving us that educational the background that we need. And so a lot that I was not aware of, and you bringing it to light. And this topic right here, I've got lots of notes here. Um, is it's very important because we don't realize we see the beauty, we smell the beauty in all of the products, everything that looks good and making us to look good, and we don't realize how much toxins we're intentionally adding to our bodies.
Yeah, exactly. It's been going on for generations. It's been passed down from generation to generation. And that's why the infertility rates have gone up and reproductive harm has increased, and all these disorders that people suffer from. Sometimes you inherit these because it's in the genetic code. It was changed, it was passed down to you. But fortunately, the plant kingdom and whole nutrition, organic foods that aren't toxic, have the DNA in all of these foods that our DNA reads and can fix our DNA and restore it. And this is why you see all the health transformations going on with people who are highly, nourished. So, like I said, the body knows how to fix it. All it needs is the right molecules. Everything is happening at the microcell level that we can't even see. All we see are the results, right? So, health transformations are real and they're amazing, and they never, like I said, never cease to amaze me what the body can do with the full array of nutrients when you provide it. But yeah, it's so great to see that you've been with this program for so long, Yvette, and you have great skin, you look vibrant, and now you're helping others through your work too. So you're one of the great satellites out there that humankind needs. So yeah, that's why I was asking you, Elle, if what you thought about what you just saw. I know you said it was an overwhelming amount, but is there anything there that kind of stuck with you?
All of it.
You like all of it. That's good. That's so good.
Um,
Yeah.
now I do have another question, Mary Esther, something that I guess I should take the time to research, but I haven't. But I've been noticing like some foods are bioengineered or they have this biotechnology. Can you shed a little bit more insight on that? Um, I see things in the store that says, that it's organic, but then it says it's bio. I think it's like engineered that it says, but I just go with the regular organic certified foods. Can you shed a little
Yeah.
bit more light on that?
Yeah, if it has the organic seal on it, it's illegal for any company to produce a food that has these genetically modified, anything that has been modified in that particular food. So biotechnology is not our friend right now. It's not being used for good. If there is science out there that is working with biotechnology to truly improve how the human body works, I doubt it because our human body is vastly intricate and intricately complex. It's so complex that scientists have been studying the human body for hundreds of years and they're still discovering everything that it does, trying to label every single biochemical and every single biochemical reaction or inflammatory response or protein messenger, or hormone or enzymes, all of these are still being discovered. And I don't see any end to it because to me, it looks like they're just barely tapping the surface of how the body works. So people who are in the biotechnology industry, I don't think they're anywhere near an understanding how the body truly needs to work. So any kind of alterations, it's very suspect to me. Uh, Corporations are very profit oriented and they have their what I call sinister agendas. After digging into all kinds of reports and watching whistleblowers, and scientists come forward and show their findings, after a number of years, you get to realize there's something wrong here. There's something not good for humankind going on. So the only thing I've come to trust is providing the body with anything that's non-toxic, but it actually truly can use to maintain itself and perpetuate life, and not to end up diminishing someone's life or their health. So that's my take on biotechnology.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we all need to research that a lot more and look into it. But I don't like looking into anything sinister. I ignore it for the most part, as much as I can because I know what's working for people, and it's so simple. We just need to learn what to eat and what not to eat. This is why I offer my nutritional synergy course. Did you say you had the nutritional synergy book? I think you did.
I do. Yes, I do.
Okay.
I purchased that one, and I
So
was looking at the course as well. Yes.
okay, yeah, yeah. I don't know if you've had time to read it all, but my whole system that I've used for a long, long time has helped countless people just by being able to choose foods from my 14 category food choice system, which includes supplementation. One of the categories is supplements, and I will maybe next week, I can discuss how to pick the right supplement. And of course, if you want to find out more about the APL Go, which I consult for every month, for all the business associates in APL Go, like Yvette and Yael. I don't know if you're an associate at all, but okay. So anyhow, there are so many of you out there that are helping people get well with these wonderful products. So I have many, many videos, and we do Monday night calls second week of every Monday of every month. And so, that's where we discuss all the products, and the science behind the products is what the show is called. But anyhow, we've got that covered. But there are so many other supplements out there that people need to understand. There's not very many. I have rejected and rejected and rejected through the years so many formulations when people say, what about this formula? What do you think about that? All you need is a multiple vitamin mineral supplement in whole food organic form. I only know of one product that fulfills that need for humankind, and a couple of other, vitamin C and calcium, but those have to be in the right form too. They have to be whole food complexes. So yeah, let's just. I will talk about that next week. That sounds like a great subject to cover for the members and our guests. To get this ball rolling of knowledge and to get people to look seriously at the right products and the right foods.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is phenomenal. It's incredible to have the information laid out so that people have options. When you go in and you're more educated and pick up, I mean, it's one thing knowing that you're not getting the best when you're going through these fast food places, but when you're in a grocery store, you really, we depend on I shop at the farmers market as much as possible, but we do have to go into the grocery store at times, and you want to make sure that it's the best thing that, keeping us for survival, not for to send us down that other path of death of the cells.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and there's so many people that are still sick in spite of the nutritional supplement and the organic food industries have, they're still out there. And I think they're making a headway because one of the stores that I like to shop at is Sprouts. I don't know if they have that in Virginia, but it's
No.
Oh, okay. So they didn't have a big selection of organic foods when I started going there a few years back, but now they've taken most of the produce area. Most of the produce at Sprouts are organic foods. It's really amazing. The non-organic foods are kind of being pushed to the side, pushed to the corner, whereas you see, a whole array, a whole case of fresh produce and rows of fresh produce also. And then plus they're kind of spreading things out, throughout the store. So
Yeah.
there's more and more organic produce that are being sold at this particular store. Um, Other stores like Costco, I don't know if they have Costco's back east
Yes,
or not.
they
They're
do
kind of
have
like
the.
Sam's Club. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So I go there to buy my organic meats because you get more for your money, and as a Costco member. But they still have to watch what they're doing because when they have so many organic foods, there for sale, they still have too much sugar in it. They still have, all of these ingredients that aren't in the best molecular form for the human body to utilize properly. So if you have, like, say, a granola, that says it's organic, and you look at the ingredients, and one of the top, ingredients is sugar. So even though it may be organically grown, at least it doesn't have genetically modified organisms. But sugar is a very highly refined product that is very, very highly addicted, and almost as addictive as what they say is addictive as almost like heroin. But
Mhm.
But I've seen the addictions, and again, that can be remedied, providing the body with the right vitamins and minerals and whole foods. Even if the person doesn't want to give up their sugar, if you get them to eat right, they won't crave it, and that's the beautiful thing, is to see these transitions without threatening or forcing anybody to change their habits, because people are such creature of habits. And if they are vibrating at a lower frequency, not at their highest elevated frequency in the health, super highway of health, then they're going to be more afraid to change, or to make any changes in their lives. That's one thing that I did see over the years, is that people weren't any longer afraid to change their lives. I've seen divorces happen with abusive spouses. And so once they got healthy, they left their abusive spouse. So yeah, if I got a client that was upset about their marriage and they were ill, and you could just predict, either that husband or wife better get their self together if they don't want to lose their spouse, or if they're in a lower plane of biochemistry. Some people's biochemistries are way off, and you can't think straight, you can't see things in the right perspectives, or in a balanced, rational perspective, in a more calm kind of way, logical and sensible kind of thing. Those attributes aren't in a person who is full of synthetic chemicals and prescription drugs. Prescription drugs don't heal. The mask symptoms. I think everyone kind of knows that out there. So yeah, we need to do a lot of changes in our civilization, but it starts, with a healthy population.
Yes, yes. I was talking to one lady I invited to tonight, and she's taking the psychiatric, seeing a psychiatrist, and she is on medications,
Oh,
and just to hear her say that she doesn't want to be on medications again. And, she's asking to be weaned off, but the doctor is like, no, you need to be on this for the rest of your life. And it's hard hearing that, it's like she's like, I refuse to believe that I have to be on this, you know but
yeah.
she feels stuck. And I actually invited her so that she could begin to start asking questions and to begin educating herself here with you, here at the Institute. So I will still continue to encourage her to show up. Uh,
Absolutely.
but it's
Absolutely.
disheartening when they want to get off. Some doctors will work with you, but I'm not a specialist in that field, so all I'm doing is listening to her express herself and just offering her some options of, asking questions. Yes.
Yes. There was some years back, there was a medical doctor who actually wrote an entire book on his findings, his experience in offering the drugs to his patients, and he found a way to wean them off. He said that it's very, very difficult to get off of these drugs, more difficult than it is to get off of heroin, and more dangerous. So these drugs is not something that you can just take yourself off of, and he found that very, very minute amounts deducted from the dose every, like, I don't know how often he did that, whether it was a week or a couple of weeks or longer. I don't recall what the time frame was, but he was able to wean his patients off of them. But in the meantime, what I worry about, doctors trying to do heroic things like this, they he should have been able to offer his patient how to nourish the body so it can repair itself from all that damage, because it is damaging. It turns off the receptor cell sites on the brain, so that the person doesn't feel any emotions, to the extent that they are, a lot of these leaks of whistleblowers that have come forward and said that I'm not sure if I can say this on YouTube, so I'm trying
Oh,
to mask my words, because YouTube has a way of censoring. I've had a couple of warnings before, so you have to be careful with what you say. But yeah, it's a very, very risky thing to do, especially if you see the side effects on Medline. If you go to the Medline website under drugs and supplements, and look up the medication, any medication. I used to do this all the time for my clients. When you look up a medication, you look up its side effects, it causes more health problems than the person started with. That was my experience,
Mhm.
you know. And so people need to know what the
That's
side effects
true.
are of those meds, right? And the meds, I mean, the doctors, either they're brainwashed or they're evil,
No,
or
they
something
want to
is
sell the
wrong
product.
because, pardon me?
They need to sell the product.
That's right. They are given, I know for a
That's more
fact that they
important to
are,
them.
yeah, that they're given, what is it called? They're given kickbacks. Okay.
Yes.
And the more they sell, the more money they can use for their vacations or whatnot, right? But there's an element of there's something very inhumane about this. And I don't know if they're hypnotized or what's wrong with them. Somewhere along the line, they lost their humanity and they either they don't know or if they do know, it's even worse, but they're very, very close-minded. When I sent my clients' doctors information about what was doing for their patients, for my clients, their patients, most of the doctors did not want to even look at it. It was as if they were afraid to look. It was as if they
Mhm.
would lose their job if they considered even looking at that material. So there is definitely something very sinister going on in big pharma and the medical industrial complex. It's a conglomerate of a group of corporations or entities that don't care
Mhm.
about humanity.
Mhm.
I always said that, there's something very sinister going on here. And I think that the new administration is starting to uncover all of this, especially with the HHS secretary. I'm afraid to say his name because one of my videos was taken down because I kept mentioning his name throughout the whole video. The whole video was about what he was finding and what he was going to be doing. So anyway, our
Wow.
beloved body, right?
Uh, hmm. How do
Yeah.
you get signed up for your institution?
Oh, you just go to holisticchoices.com.
Okay.
And yeah, when I post this video, I'm going to be posting this video both in the Institute, and for now, I'm going to be posting it on my YouTube channel for the public because we're trying to recruit more members right now. But yeah, I mean, I'm still treating the members with extra special stuff. So I do
Mhm.
pay more attention to the members than anyone else. But yeah, just go to holisticchoices.com and click on the tab that says True Health Mastery. And I think I'll get back on it so you can see what I mean. Am I still sharing? Do you still see my screen?
Yes, we
Yeah,
I
can.
you
still
should.
see it.
Okay, so yeah, holisticchoices.com. And if you click on True Health Mastery Institute, then you'll be on this page. And just go down here and just click join here.
Okay.
And then click select this one, True Health
Okay.
Mastery membership, and sign up.
Coming up. All
It's
right.
$12.97 every month. And like I said, it does need to be charged, automatically. There's no other way
Okay.
the system allowed me to set this up. But
All right.
when you sign up, you just put your name and all this information here. Then you click sign up, and voila, you'll get. I guess it's a prompt. I'm kind of new at this
Uh-huh.
back office stuff, but you'll get some kind of. Yvette can tell you what procedure she went through
Yes.
to.
Mhm.
Yep, it gets a prompt and you get a thank you, and then yeah, everything goes, you'll get your email confirmation.
Okay, and then you have to when you go to the member website, then you have to put in your own password, right? You
Yes,
have
put in
to
my
select your own
password.
password.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I saved mine. So when
That's
I pop it, it automatically brings me right into from my computer. It'll bring me right into
Oh,
log in. So yes, it's a very
for
easy,
the institution.
streamlined
okay.
process.
Yeah, that's good. Does that sound good, Yael?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sounds great. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Yeah, I mean,
Thank you.
well, I
Happy
want
to
the
be here.
questions to come because I'm sorry.
I said happy to be here.
Oh, good, 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 good. Yeah, I want the questions to come from people because you know how it triggers me, Yvette, when someone asks a question, somehow it pulls in my recesses of my brain and out comes the information that I wouldn't have thought otherwise. It's just I never know what's in there until someone asks me a question. You don't know what
Yeah.
you absorb and you don't know what you know until you start teaching, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's how it works. That's how the brain works.
I
It's
have
very
one other
mysterious.
question.
Hmm.
How would you know for certain now, for certain, that you're getting organic foods?
Good question.
Not by the labels, because labels can tell you, I mean, that could be any. They could be packing that with regular foods.
Yeah, yeah. Well, your health results, and your energy levels are one hint, and also the fact that the sinister forces don't like the organic food industry, so they made that USDA seal almost impossible to get, and they have
Mm-hmm.
inspections like you would not believe. They love to shut down, farms, and you hear, I hear all these news items on, oh, they've got E. coli in their raw milk, or there's something
Mm-hmm.
wrong with the
Mm-hmm.
chickens, there's something wrong with the eggs. We just went through that egg fiasco, right?
Right.
And so uh, actually, in the store, I was able to find organic eggs a lot more readily than non-organic eggs. So somehow the organic farmers in the local area here were still offering organic eggs. Yeah, they were expensive,
Mm-hmm.
$12 for 18 organic eggs. But I
Mm-hmm.
figured, well, it's an investment in my health. I'm going to do it. The nourishment is phenomenal from eggs. But yeah, I mean, and I also know someone personally who owns a farm, and he says, "Oh, it's no different between the organic and the non-organic." And I said, "Okay, you're telling me that you spray your organic plants because he grows the greens, the mixed greens that you buy at the store. I don't know if he's distributing this all over the U.S., but in the stores here, you get like a super greens mixture of greens in a plastic box, and
Mm-hmm.
or in bags. So I don't know if he's I guess other farmers are doing this, but this particular brand he supplies, right? And I said, you mean to tell me that my organic greens I have been buying are sprayed with pesticides and genetically modified organisms, just like your other crops are? I was angry and I was upset. He said, "Oh, no, 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 no." He said, "No, no, no, we don't do that." I said, "Well, what do you mean? It's no different." He says, "Well, we till the soil, we water the plants, and we do the same thing." I said, "Oh, so everything except the pesticides, right?" And he said, "Right, right, right." And I said, "Because it's illegal if you are doing this, and you're making people sick." So I get angry about things like this. And so he was I mean, he's my cousin's husband, and I see him, every so often. So, and I always bring it up. Are you sure? Are you absolutely sure? Because
Yeah.
I mean, so you're right. You don't know for sure. That's why, like Yvette, she goes to the farmers market. I love the farmers market, and I like to get their stuff too. Especially the body care products. They don't have synthetic ingredients. You talk to them and you get them to talk, and you get to know them if you go there regularly. So they're proud of their products. But anyway, yeah, it's a very complex issue, and it needs to be investigated more deeply to make sure. The best thing to do is to grow your own, but who has an acre to grow your own food, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a porch now. I used to have a big backyard, front and backyard, and I used to grow my own herbs, and a lot of the medicinal herbs that I offered my client, I would package them up, dry them, package them up for my clients. And so yeah, I had this, my garage was always hanging with all these herbs, drying herbs, and my cabinets
Mm-hmm.
were full of giant bottles of herbs. But because plants produce a lot, you don't realize what one plant can produce, right? So yeah, that's the best thing a person can do, is to know exactly what's going in the soil, and exactly, how long before you're going to harvest, because the longer the plant is in the soil, the more nutrients they take up, and the more nourishing they're going to be, and the more medicinal they're going to be, right? The more protective they're going to be. But thanks for bringing that up. That is an excellent point. We need to watch them like a hawk. That's what we need to do.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, this has been great. I don't want to take too much of your time. I can be here forever. I'm just, it's my favorite thing to do. But anyway, I'm so glad that you both were here. And thank you for supporting the launch of the True Health Mastery Institute. And I encourage everyone out there to please come and join us. This is so much fun. And, your health will improve tremendously. You won't get false information here. I always back up everything I say with the best science. And if you meet an indigenous healer, pick their brain, because they are so wise, and their knowledge is it's just amazing. They've picked this up from generation to generation. They've seen the results, It's almost as
Mhm.
good as a scientific study, in my opinion, right?
Mhm.
But our society has learned to only pay attention to credentials, right? But a lot of these healers are so much more knowledgeable than,
Mhm.
all of us, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, just I hope you come back, and I hope
Thank
that,
you.
I can answer more questions. Feel free to, like I showed you on this form, I think if I can get back to it really quickly so you can see what form I'm talking about. Yeah, there's a contact form right here. And if you have any questions, just, put your name in, and your email and phone if you want, and just
Mhm.
ask your question, kind of thing. I think I'll set up another form though, just for members. I don't think I've done that yet. I just realized. But yeah, so yeah, any questions, and I will be more than happy to answer. And if it's something that others will benefit from, if you have someone with a serious ailment, I can compile a nutritional healing protocol. This one, though, the one that I did for you, Yvette,
Yes.
was one of the most comprehensive ones I've ever done,
Wow.
and it's okay though. Uh, I'll get it done, kind of thing. But yeah, that's what I want to do for my members. I
I
want to
really
give them the right
appreciate that.
information. I want to give them results. What's that?
Yes. I really appreciate what you've done, the time that you put into it. And it didn't seem long to me because I was on, this end as far as like you wanting to get it back to us quickly. But
Mhm.
I knew that question for me was an in-depth question when Brian asked me about that. And I was just like, wow, I was like, this is going to be an educational piece for sure. I was like, I don't know much about it, but let me ask Mary Esther. And
Mhm.
you're getting it back to us. It was just what, a matter of weeks. But that was like I said, I only got past the table of contents, just opening up, tonight because I was able, just to click on it and see what it was. And
Yeah.
wow, it's a lot of information. And I
Yeah.
can't wait to talk with Brian to look at it and then talk with him and seeing if he will keep us up to date on how he is progressing using the protocol that you've created here.
Yes, I like to put everything in bullet point format as much as I can because it's easier to read. People don't have time to sit there and read word for word and paragraph after paragraph. The attention span just isn't, there. And it's not like they can't do it. They can't focus and concentrate. Sometimes it's just that people are very time crunched, and
Mhm.
we all try to cram as much as we can in our day, right? But yeah, this is why you'll see that it's all bullet points, but it highlights all the main points, the right information aimed at helping him alleviate his condition. And based on that science that I found, I'm pretty sure that his condition will improve if he does the whole thing, if he does the right thing. People who don't apply the protocols, of course, they're not going to get well. But the ones that do, it's like magic. It's just phenomenal.
Yes. Well, I'm excited to be a part of that, contributing to his journey, and being there to witness that. So we shall see.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm honored to do this for humankind, really am honored to do all this. So, all right, then I will say good night. Thank you so much for being here, both of you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. I appreciate y'all showing up, and next week we'll try to get more on. So thank you so much
Yeah,
for what you're doing here,
Thank
Mary
you.
Esther.
yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah, I mean, it takes about what 18 times before someone will make a move. They'll see something in front of their face often enough, and they're putting it in their back of their mind, thinking, "Oh yeah, that sounds great," you know. But and then suddenly they just make this spontaneous choice to do it. But it'll take time. But the more that I advertise and the more that I put myself out there, it takes courage for me to do that, but I've got to. I can't not,
Yes.
got to do it. All right then. All right, we'll see you next time. Thank you so much
All
for
right.
being here, everyone. And please, when you watch this video, I'd love to hear your input too. All righty, talk to you later. Bye bye
Good
now.
Thank
night.
you. Have a good
Thank you.
night. Okay.
Bye bye.
Enjoy. And
Bye.